Welcome to part 3 of South Park The Fractured Butthole, and after we finish helping Super Craig recover Stripe, now we could go upstairs and talk to Craig's dad for an important collectathon quest.
Hey there, are you one of Craig's friends? You looking for Craig? Me? Let's just say I'm an art collector specializing in a delightfully modern and extremely confusing Asian art form known as yaoi. Crazy, right? But this stuff is worth a fortune to the right buyer. If in your adventures you find any of these, bring them to me. I will reward you handsomely.
He's not kidding, you know. He will give you a lot of recipes, costumes, artifacts, and I think money went with that too. I haven't gotten all of the yaoi, but if I do come across it, which I'm going to try to get all of it, because there are certain areas where if you don't get the yaoi right then and there, it's going to be locked out, just like the Chin Pokemon. Thankfully, there's a second thing of collectibles that you won't have to worry about being locked out of. But the yaoi, definitely you can be locked out of it. But with that said, you have a total of 40 yaoi to find. Meanwhile, I'm on the toilet trying to, well, take a deuce. Primarily what we're doing with this minigame is following the control stick's instructions to build up our bowels to take a dump. And we got 20 experience points for this, so if you see a toilet that you haven't already been to, take a dump.
Do I need to make a no fuckboys allowed sign?
Oh, and by the way, you won't be able to actually take a selfie with Craig's father or sister, or mother for that matter, until certain requirements are met. For the mother, Tweek and Craig would have to reconcile their relationship. Remember I said in part 2 that Tweek and Craig was forced into a gay relationship by the PC principal. In the case of Craig's dad, you have to collect like 20 yaoi in order for you to take a picture with Craig's dad and his sister. So, yeah. Meanwhile, Craig and Tweek are fighting on Coonstagram. Whatever the case, we're going to have to go to Kyle's house in order for us to proceed with plot. Because in order for us to find the yaoi in the first place, we're going to have most of the area accessible. Now, see this propane tank? Throw a snap pop there that you just recently required from the last part, and throw fart at said fire. If you throw fart at the fire, it's going to explode the door. However, you're going to need 2 abilities to get that cracked area right here where my investigation nod is showing, because the snap pop itself won't be able to deal with it. The first ability you're going to need is the ability to return time back to normal, and the second, to lift heavy objects. You yourself don't have that. Speaking of things you need as an ability, you need an ability to get rid of the lava. The lava that the Chaos minions, yes, Professor Chaos is here, and he's one of the villains, for now, but he and his Chaos minions have spread lava in certain areas where you need to go. And if you touch this lava, you will actually take damage in the overworld. Yes, the damage will regenerate once you stay away from the lava, but if you stay too long in the lava, well, you're gonna die. Plain and simple. Again, avoid the 6th graders because you're not powerful enough to deal with them. They will still kick your ass. It's not meant for you to deal with them just yet. Once we deal with Kyle and his problems, then you'll be able to deal with him. But speaking of problems, time for us to run into the biggest problem that just so happened to cause a problem in South Park The Fractured Butthole. I mean, Stick of Truth, sorry.
Hey, kid, you know anything about this? Somebody's keying my wife's car at night. It's happening every night. I thought it was just one of you damn kids, but well... Here, come here, take a look at this. Whoever's scratching the car is also leaving notes. I'm just scared it's a jilted lover or something. You won't forget me that easy. I thought we had something. I'll tell the world about you, bitch.
Listen, I'm sick of having to buff this shit out. If you can catch whoever's keying my wife's car tonight, I'll follow you on Coonstagram. Trust me, you want me as a follower. I'm a pretty big deal in this town.
No, you are the reason that this town ran into the Nazi zombie scourge. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for you destroying the elevator, we wouldn't have to take on the aliens.
Dan, get your weird turd brains out.
And also, Randy's the town idiot. And it definitely multiplies by 11 in this game. Oh boy. Let me assure you. You'll find out by the end of the second chapter, I do believe, exactly who it is that's responsible for, or actually the end of this chapter, by the way, who it is that's responsible for the damage done to Randy's car and also the death threats. Whatever the case, folks, I just crafted an antidote. Crafting is also part of the task that you need to do. I'm going to have to craft 4 of them in order to get to Novice. Well, then I'm going to have to do a lot of crafting, actually. By the way, since Stan's not here, and I could just get into his room. And by the way, notice something strange? I actually opened the closet, and I do believe Tom Cruise is no longer in the closet. That's because he was killed in episode 201 back in season 9, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Tom Cruise is no longer in Stan's closet. Oh, speaking of things that you're going to need Stan for, that drain pipe right there. Stan's ability is what's going to be needed in order for you to not only get rid of the lava, but also that drain pipe. And by the way, once you do use that, it's going to be pretty hilarious. Well, somewhat hilarious, actually. Due to the fact of who it is that you end up finding. By the way, you won't be able to selfie with Shelly because you don't have enough Coonstagram followers. But with Grandpa Marsh, you can actually selfie with him if you manage to, well, get a condom. And now let's talk to Kyle once we get things situated. First, let's go into the kitchen. And also raid the drawers. Sorry about that, that's my phone messenger. Anyway, we got a revive serum, even though it's not going to do us any good. Especially in this battle. So, with that said, we're gonna have to... excuse me. That's not what I meant to say. But we're gonna have to go and talk to Kyle because we can't go out there either.
Who the hell are you? Really? You sent a newbie to my distress call? You're such a dick, Coon. Sorry, kid, but my problem is too big for a rookie. A few days ago, there was an anomaly in the universe. Another version of me, the Human Kite from an alternate dimension, showed up here and is destroying everything. Right now, it's upstairs in my room. I don't think anything can stop it.
I think I may have accidentally hit the button before the dialogue was finished, but I had to stop it because it was at the 10-minute mark. Anyway, we're gonna have to go upstairs and deal with Kyle's problem, which is alternate universe Human Kite. And if he's who I think he is, then yeah, he is a definite problem, and we already know how he managed to get his hands on such powers, quote unquote. Well, he kind of took Kyle's backstory, basically. Oh, speaking of things to take, come into the Broflovski's bedroom and go in that right drawer to take the cheesing vial. The cheesing vial is a important mission item, which is going to definitely be used for later for summoning. And by the way, in case you're wondering what cheesing is, it's people getting high off of cat piss. It's South Park, ladies and gentlemen, and only going to get more offensive from here.
Universe is behind this door. I can't fight him for obvious reasons, you know, alternative universe paradox shit. So you are going to have to take him out. You've got to really kick his ass, dude, so that he wants to return back to his universe on the East Coast. You ready? All right, go get him. Zoom. Oh, hey, Kyle. I'm big. is your friend. Did he come to play with us? All right, me from another universe. It is time for you to go back to your universe. What do you mean, Kyle? We're a team, remember? I'm not from another universe. We're like best super pals. As you can see, he is the one running around giving the Human Kite a bad name. He was sent here to destroy me and weaken my powers. No, I came to spend 2 weeks with my cousin and wanted to play superheroes. And then he said, okay, what superhero do you want to be? And I said, I want to be Human Kite. But he said, you can't be Human Kite. I'm Human Kite. And I said, well, why can't we be Human Kites together? So I went to Aunt Sheila and I said, I want to be Human Kites together. And she told him he had to do what I said because I was the guest. Remember? I'm sorry, me from another universe, but it is time for you to learn that playing superheroes is too painful. New kid, you must now destroy my alter ego. Oh, Jesus, we're gonna fight? That's right. If you really want to play, then this is how you do it. Well, all right. Anything to make me and my cousin more alike. Prepare for battle, weakling.
Oh boy. Alternate Human Kite. This is not really a hard battle at all, to be honest. The first battle, okay, the second and third time can be a little bit difficult, but there is one way around it. Simply gross him out. That's all you need to do. Well, at least this battle anyway.
Oh my, there's a lot of decisions in this game, aren't there?
Now, keep in mind that alternate Human Kite has the eye lasers just like Human Kite. However, Human Kite's powers is a little bit different. Oh, and by the way, he will call a necessary timeout. Even if you actually wait a couple of turns, he'll still attack, even though he called time out. But, considering that you attack because he called a timeout, he actually heals. This is why I say grossing him out will help. Now, he's going to call another... He called another timeout. I'm going to end my turn. I'm not sure how long this is, but no matter how long it is for you to attack, he will still attack you regardless, because he called a timeout. He expects you not to attack, but he attacked. And he's one of those annoying kids that it's only fair when he does it. And he's going to actually summon himself a protective shield. This is why I told you to gross him out. Because if you gross him out, it doesn't matter what shield he has on, he'll eventually lose health. Just stack up on the gross out. That's all you need to do. And seeing as how I... Oh, damn phone! I apologize for the beeping in the background. And seeing as how I actually grossed him out and actually got a artifact that will stack on... Actually, I think that artifact stacks on knockback damage. I'll put that on later, but... Normally, if you have on an artifact, it would keep stacking on gross out. Since I don't have an artifact on, all I'm doing is just keeping the gross out happening so that he'll come to this point. Once he does, however, the battle may be over. Because this attack does nothing. Well, looks like Kyle Schwartz made an ass out of himself. Whatever the case, folks, we leveled up at level 2 thanks to that fight.
Oh, Jesus. I think I might have ruptured my hernia. You had enough, alternate me? Yeah, the superhero stuff really hurts. I better go back to my universe. Oh, you're leaving? Dude, that sucks. Yeah, I'll be going back to my universe now, Human Kite. I need some camphophonique for my ear because I got a scrape on it by being farted on. Dude, I don't know how to thank you. From now on, call on me whenever you need help.
How do you get a scrape in your ear from being farted on? I don't even want to ask. Whatever the case, because we did that, we've got Human Kite's bio sheet, Human Kite as an actual playable character, and we can take a selfie with him too to increase the Cootstagram numbers. Now, here is the thing. Seeing as how both Super Craig and Human Kite are now on our team, they are going to be the only buddies we have. Oh, that's the old kite Kyle had. And I think that's Leslie as well. Oh, fuck you, Towley. What do you want?
Visit people's houses. Don't be shy about opening their drawers.
Ah.
Hey, look, that one has a...
And believe it or not, despite him being a helpful guide, we're going to see him too. And by him, I mean Towley. Now, let's just go into Kyle's basement. I mean, not basement, I'm in his garage, sorry. And just snag whatever is in the bag. That's a big step up from the Chin Pokemon in the last game, but whatever the case. I mean, a big step down, sorry.
I think you're ready for the next level.
Now that we've got ourselves some followers on the Coonstagram and we've got there and defeated Kyle Schwartz, now we can go over to the Coon Lair, where we can get ourselves the ability to use artifacts, because we certainly could have used that against Kyle Schwartz. But seriously, it's a battle that you can't lose.
Fuck. You.
Alright,
Mom.
let's just talk to Cartman.
Ah, there you are, butthole. Being a superhero is a little harder than you thought, huh? It's okay, you totally suck, but I can't help but feel sorry for you, because your dad fucked your mom when you were a child. Come this way. I'm gonna teach you about artifacts. You see, most superheroes augment their abilities with specialized equipment. You see this? It's a strength artifact. You'll find things like these all over town. The trick is to equip them into your artifact slots. Go on, give it a shot.
Hey, remember those artifacts I got in the last
Every artifact
two
has a
parts?
specific place it can be slotted on your
Yeah, the artifacts that I actually got with the Ubisoft Club store. Well, I get 2 really good ones and 1 decent one at best, right off the bat. And it starts off with 40 might. Here's the thing, the higher your might is, the more the enemies will either be equal to or greater than, depending on the difficulty. If they're equal to, you're in for a rough fight. If they're lesser than your overall might, you're going to kick their ass. If they're higher, well, you're going to be there a while. Now that we've equipped this, we can collect and craft some more artifacts. I mean, we've got a couple of recipes to do that. Sorry if I talked over the cutscene, ladies and gents, but I don't think we can take a picture with Cartman yet. We will, however, actually have to go to the vendor and get some more water bottles. We're not actually able to do that yet because we don't have any money. Thing is, however, we now have a new fast travel system, which there's more fast travels here in this game than what it is in South Park: The Stick of Truth. Timmy only had about maybe 14 tops, and Jimmy has about 24 of them. Oh, and we're gonna have to deal with the 6th graders too. They're definitely at a low enough level we could take them down. So let's just blow up their bike and start a fight with them. Yeah, and by the way, the DVR footage kind of ran out right in the middle of them exploding and me getting a sucker punch on these guys.
Okay, let's see what you got, new kid.
By the way, it's at this point or any time during the battle that you can actually change the difficulty to either casual, mastermind, or diabolic from heroic, because it's on heroic by default. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I mean, there's not much really to say on that except
Somebody make me when it's my turn. That's going to be
the
scarred.
might levels of all the enemies are just going to increase when you run into them in diabolic.
That's on my shoe. That's
It'll be pretty much taking on enemies in what mode was that? Extreme mode in Persona 4.
Okay, who's the next target of my unbridled...
But thankfully the enemies got burnt, so because the enemies, well, some of the enemies got burnt, and because they got burnt, they could actually lose turns getting burned, and on top of that they lose health. Kyle's ability is to shoot lasers, create a shield, and also heal. Whereas Craig's abilities is to rush down opponents, punch them really hard, or in this case, block enemies.
Craig? I said fuck you. This one doesn't do
So,
anything at all, but it gives me a shield and it raises
if you
my
block enemies from actually pulling off any moves,
Go nuts, new kid.
or for the most part, actually get them enraged,
That works.
you'll be able to I'm trying to get the words here. If you get the enemies enraged, you'll be able to get an advantage on them because they won't be able to do some of their moves. But if you block them, Craig will actually avoid taking a hit. However, the block only lasts for about 2 turns, and then from there, it's just going to be I should have killed him with the other skill. But as I was saying, the block was only going to last 2 turns. And then once again, you're going to have to use the block once more to enrage your opponent. Unfortunately for Super Craig, his only weakness is the fact that people that are in a space that he has to use his abilities on, he won't be able to use them. I'm just gonna fart on the guy, really, or just bash him, one of the two. Yeah, the more damage I do, the easier this fight's gonna be. However, as you already know about striped red all-out attacks from bosses, this is what happens if you get caught by one of those. Those all-out attacks could be pretty devastating. But if you manage to survive the all-out attack, you need to heal immediately unless that opponent is about to die or it's its last hurrah from a bad stat. Whatever the case, we beat them and got another artifact. Now, if our artifact wasn't already high, Oida equipped Armageddon Leaf and actually raised our artifact from 10 to 15. Now, we have ourselves a little problem here. As Cartman is about to explain to us, the 6th graders are going to come after us to kick our asses as random encounters because we beat them. But we had to beat them in order for us to actually make any sort of moves. Sadly, the Coon also wants to point out that we need to have ourselves a superhero weakness. And in order to do that, we're going to have to find Mosquito. But that's not all we could do. We could actually, fill out our character sheet by choosing a gender or a religion. We're going to go with choosing a gender in the next episode, as well as meeting up with the Mosquito, or possibly fighting some Yowie if we can. See you guys next time.